So this body of work is called Who Am I with Leon BOTHA. He was the first person that I started working with where I journeyed with him for 3.5 years. This is what got me into the way I approached creating these kinds of images where I was with human beings for long periods of time. Leon was this extraordinary guy, and I'd met him in Cape Town. I'd said to him I was interested in photographing him. So I called him up and I went out and I met him. He lived with this condition, progeria, which meant rapid aging. Rapid aging meant that he was going to die very soon. And he was always afraid that we weren't going to be able to get enough of the images in to create this body of work. So this was a real challenge for me. And of course, extremely challenging for him because he was living in this dynamic and he was 20 years old. So we decided together that these were not going to be documentary images. They were going to be theatrical images. Theatrical images would depict part of his challenge of dying very quickly. So they were all kind of metaphors. Who am I? Who are we? And that was the mirror of the two things. That was the combination of how this body of work slowly created itself over a period of 3 years. So we'd start off, and there were certain things that he wouldn't be that comfortable with in the beginning. And as we moved through them, he just kept reaching deeper and further. And I kept exploring and challenging him to that. And once that rhythm got going, we were able to create this body of work. So as the process started to evolve and he became more and more comfortable, so we took it to the next level, and that was a 3-year process, all the way up until 3 months before he died. He was willing and able and very pleased to create this image where he was naked. It's called Suspended, between life and death. So it was a very, very challenging for me as well. It was about my own mortality. I could see it in him. This was accelerated. His life was moving at a hell of a speed. Within months, his hip would collapse, and he would say to me, "Can we stop at the store and see if they got any extra hips on the top shelf?" He had a lot of humor inside of him trying to deal with this. But by the same rule, there was another component in Africa where, if you look at that image called The Exchange, we were driving up this road and we were setting up the shot, and there were these two gentlemen that came by, both woodcutters, and they were cutting up firewood. So the one guy saw Leon and he thought he was a tokoloshi, he was a spirit, an African spirit, and he ran almost into the traffic. And the other guy, which is the guy that you see there, he wanted to know whether Leon was real. So I sat Leon down, and this guy, I got the camera set up, and again we were shooting 4x5 film, and got the guy, and the guy just closed his eyes and he put his hands on Leon's heart to see if he could hear a heartbeat, and he did. It was the most extraordinary moment, and there were so many moments like that in creating these images that is what actually stuck for me as a process and a formula, essentially, journeying with somebody. Because when you journey with them, there's so many things that are revealed on their own in that time frame. They're not even predictable. You can go to one location and set up something and get ready to make an image, and Leon would see something or feel a certain way, and he would just stand there and turn, and that would spark something in me. So as much as everything was planned and drawn out, there was always that extra moment in time that captured that phenomenal piece that is what became the art in the end.